Well, as you may know it, if you don't know, I will say it again to you. South Africa has won the 2023 World Cup of Rugby, which is amazing. But now, where do we go from here? And then that's where things are getting, in my perspective, messy. I'm going to analyze. Not that I know way too much. I'm a specialist in organizing World Cups, but I'm just going to give my viewpoint out there because I think that there is a tendency that is pushing all those games to a limit that we are probably going to lose not only the ownership but also make at some point sure that we lose everyone in those games. So South Africa won the 2023 World Cup in France, and for the next one is in Australia, who, as you could have noticed, it was having one of the worst generation, if not the worst generation ever. Like, contrary to the All Blacks, the generation didn't even went out of the group stage. They went out sent home by Portugal, Georgia, Fiji, and Wales. But in 4 years, they will have probably 4 years, and they will see coming to the island 20 other three teams. The World Cup for the moment, in rugby was 20 teams. So for some it was not perfect, and I highly doubt that in rugby, at least rugby 15, you can find a formula that satisfies everyone. Because if you put 16, then it's not enough to make plays for surprises. Because with 16, what you basically do is like you take the six of the Six Nations, because World Rugby do some privileges. So you get the six from the Six Nations plus the 4 of the Super Rugby. You got 10, and then you have to count the Icelanders, who are Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga, which makes it to 13, and then you have 3 plays. And fitting 3 plays is basically having more or less, let's say, by the Japan in the conversation, maybe if they're in good years, the United States. Then you see, you don't give it, and then you probably have one more place for Europe, because Europe in every single competition want to have more place. So you are not giving really place of the surprises. But putting it to 24 too, it's not really good thing, because now you have 4 teams in every group, but you got 6 groups. And the thing is, like, this is a sport where you got collision, collapsing, and then whatever things you do, you cannot play every 3 days like like we do in soccer, for example. Oh my goodness, like we do in football. Like, you can't, because physically you need your player to recover. Personally, I was quite okay with the fact of having 20 teams. Not because I was thinking that it was fine or anything like that, but because it's how much you can get. Like, according to the planning, we are supposed to still have like the same 7 weeks when we play the World Cup in 4 years in Australia. I want to see how those teams will go out of there, because this is going to be really tough. But there is no need to like keep adding team if we are not privileging the show to go on. Like, before to add teams in the World Cup, because look at the fact, like, Namibia has been in World Cup since when? Pretty much forever, and Namibia is still one of those weakest team ever. Same thing with Tonga. Tonga this year didn't even make a lot of illusion. Don't get me starting with Romania. Like if we are not even helping those who are already there to make it, like Uruguay, like Chile did it, to have like more competency and to try to win more, then what are we doing? because adding for adding, we are still going to have those games where South Africa, New Zealand, France, Ireland come and put on the show, and then it ends up 82-5 or 82-3. There's no need for that. And when I talk about growth, I don't talk about this new look Pacific Nation Cup stuff, because basically you're still having the Tier 2 teams playing together. Like you got Fiji, Tonga, Samoa in one pool. You got United States, Canada, and Japan in the other. Out of those 16, 2 were not even in the World Cup because they got surprised by Chile. And you don't see Chile here, you don't see Uruguay here, and like last stuff, you don't even have any Tier 1 who want to play with them. Like, the goal was to make sure that those teams make it to Australia with a lot more game. Like, why do we not try a system where we can have Fiji playing Australia in 2024, having Samoa playing the All Blacks, like having those big teams, like top 10 teams, going to visit for once during the next 2 years. Because and not just like visit for like test matches, going there for really tough games. Because if it's just for having the Tier 2 among them, you are not helping anything. You are not, and I'm saying that because we have seen the differences. Like, we have seen the differences. Samoa was amazing against England, but Samoa, you still see that there were like some mistakes that they need to correct. Same thing for Fiji against Wales. And all the gap between those kind of team and then the Tier 1s can only be filled if there is, like Agustin Pichot defended, if there is more and more place for those Tier 1 teams to go play with them. Now, I'm not crazy. I know that Tier 1 teams make the show, like Super Rugby and Six Nations make the show and make the money for World Rugby. Like, I get that. I'm not telling that this is out of any kind of naysayer. No, this is the truth. They make the money, but you also need the sports to be affordable and to be able to provide more and more show. So instead of just leaving Tier 2 between them, from time to time, take those Tier 2 who are like making it to the World Cup and make them face those big teams of Tier 1. Like, what's like it's, you are not going to tell me that geographically it's tough for New Zealand to travel and go play in Tonga, or for Australia to receive Fiji, because they do it for the 7. So why not doing the same with 15s? And trying and keep pushing. Like, it's the only way for rugby to be better is to understand that among Tier 2 and Tier 1s we need to help each other. And I don't even talk to you about Tier 3s because it's another madness. But I mean, we have 4 years to figure out how it will work, like the new replaying and everything, and see how we make it there. The thing is, like, from here to there, we need to see value over each other. Like, what really put your money where your mouth is. You always talk about the beautiful sports, about how amazing the values are. Show it. Just show it. Stop talking. Stop overthinking stuff. Just do it.